Going on, y'all? This low.
This is Key and we're low key. So today we're gonna talk about being creative. First of all, what have you guys created today?
Yep.
Um, did you create something positive today? It's your masterpiece anyway. So what did you create today? Um, with that being said, we're gonna lead right into the topic, and the topic for today is being creative. Um, being creative, a lot of people think they're not creative or they don't think about it until someone asks them to be creative. So when you create something, that is your love that you put into it, or your hate, or your jealousy, because you can create things without even knowing it. So not consciously, but you're creating something unconsciously.
Yep.
So with that being said, you never know where you could put your energy until you focus. So when you focus on a thing, you create something. Majority of the time, we are creating, like I said, unconsciously. So if we're doing several things at one time, and let's just say we're working and we're drinking at the same time, or we're driving and we're eating, or ladies putting on makeup, or guys reaching in the back seat to pull up something out of the bag, or watching somebody on the side of the road, but you're not focused on the direction that you're going, you're creating an opportunity to have a tragedy or an accident.
Yeah.
And if you do, God forbid, but if you do, that you created that. And then it comes a point in time when you get to, I think everybody should be held accountable. But of course, a lot of people don't understand that until they get older. And then when you do get older, you still don't understand. But holding yourself accountable for the mess that you created, and then working and using that as an opportunity to get better instead of beating yourself up, instead of talking down on others, because you can't lift yourself up and talk down on others. It's not going to work.
Yep.
So, but love, if you love yourself enough and if you love those around you, you would choose to do something different and create this masterpiece that is so big. I think a lot of times we don't see what we want in the reality of the view, like what you think is real. We don't see that, so we get discouraged and we fall into this little space where it's like, I know sometimes for me, back, before I started doing my inner work, I would shut down and my feelings would be so hurt because I would expect a thing. And then it come a point in time where it's like, okay, well, what did you put out? Because that's exactly what you got. Whatever you put out, that's what you're going to get. It's a direct reflection. So if you push it out, it's going to stare you right back in the face. So it's like you gotta understand that you're creating whether you want to or not. But to choose to create something is the best thing that you can do, because you can say, I put my name on that. I endorse that. Yeah. That's my creation. Even ladies, when you're cooking, like that's your signature. Like you put whether it's burnt, whether it's tasty or not tasty, whether it's whatever it tastes like, whatever, or don't, you put your signature. That is your name is on to that. So we just have to realize that we're creating whether we want to or not. What you think, man?
Yeah, that's real. That's deep. Like spontaneous creation happen all throughout the day when you sleep. Like most of us live in creation, but it's the action that drives it. So most of the time we create sporadically with our thoughts, just like losing focus on the road. It happened in your mind. You didn't mean to do it, but you created it through your thoughts. And the action of you swerving or whatever drove you right to the ditch.
Yeah.
So, because of the lack of action to do the thing that we have created in our mind, causes for chaos and disarray. That's what a manifest.
That's exactly.
Like if you don't take the direct action, and most people they operate out of that feminine principle, because that is the feminine principle, is the creation.
Okay.
The masculine principle is what brings it to life. Most people dwell in the feminine principle, male and female.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? These are the people, because they're not willing to take the risk and put the action behind it, they'll go and talk down on other people to other people all day.
Yeah.
To try and create disarray
Gossip.
due to their lack of action.
Gossiping.
Because it takes an energy to drive it home. Now, mind you, the creation is the hard part. Like formulating a clear thought, but you gotta have the action behind it.
Right.
Now, you are creating all throughout the day, but through your lack of action, like you creating spontaneous bullshit. You creating gossip, you creating depression, frustration, because of the lack of action.
Yeah. I think it's a lot of times. I think people just don't realize that they do it. They don't realize it.
Do what?
That they're creating, like
Yeah, all day.
They don't realize it. And then at the end of the day, it's like you do a recap and you're like, dang, today was a horrible day. Now that thought process right there, that's just negative. And you're going to keep getting days like that when you think like that. When you don't seize the opportunity of what you're facing and you go to it with your head, with your face focused, it's like we talked about it before when what was her name? God, Tamati. Well, anyway, God told them to leave the city. He couldn't find the prophet that he sent or the guy that he asked. I don't know his name, y'all. My mind is just, but I'm just trying to relay a message. God told him to take his family and leave the city. And when he's supposed to take his family and leave the city, he's not supposed to look back. Because if you turn and you look back, you taking your eye, you take your eye, take your eyes off of where you're going, your focus. So whenever things are happening, boom, 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 and you're thinking these things, you're acting it out because that's what you believe, right? So you believe, and then you're creating over and over and over and over again. And 9 times out of 10, that is just I'm gonna say every time out of 10, that is the worst way to go about something. If you're having a hard time with thinking through things, or you're having a hard time with trying to understand something, instead of acting on it, you need to take a moment and just clear your head. Like literally go into a whole meditative state and just like shut it down, because your mind will keep going, and it'll keep going, and it'll keep going, and then you be arguing with yourself, and you be talking down on yourself, and that's not what God wants. The God lives in you, and you talking down on him, like, because you got to look at it like, I'm God, I can create, because that's what God did. He created, and he gave us the ability to create. So if I'm in a position in my life where I need to make some adjustments, or I need to find these answers, I need to shut everything down. Shut it down and then just focus on receiving the answers. And I think a lot of times we want the easy way, like what's microwavable. Like, can you warm it up 2 seconds? Can you warm it up in a minute? That macaroni rice, warm it up a minute and a half, you good.
Yeah.
And you happy. But you just compromise your taste of getting in there and making the macaroni and cheese that takes a little bit more time. The taste is good. And then when the taste is good, you receive it better. You know?
Different. Just a little small tweaks. You know, it's always a work in progress. But if you gossiping,
Oh Lord.
like, just know it's because of your lack of action.
Yep. So
If you
stay
talking
away.
about somebody else all day, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's your lack of action, your frustration on your ability to take action on the thoughts
Yep.
that's in your head.
Those
And
days.
if you taking action on the thoughts in your head, talking about people, meaning you thinking about how to degrade other people all day, like, you need to reevaluate yourself.
Yeah, you need to really check yourself for that.
Watch your thoughts, watch for the spontaneous creation. Make sure what's being created is intentional. You got something else,
Good
man?
one. No, that's it.
I'm Low.
This is Key. I will Low Key.
Like, comment,
And subscribe.
peace.